Hello doll fans and welcome back to Beauty Inside a Box. I hope everyone's staying safe. Make sure everyone's looking after themselves. Before I continue, I just want to quickly let you know that this video, very much so, but all of my videos are for adult collectors. If you are an adult collector, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check me out on Instagram. Anyway, today's video is kind of crazy, and doing research for this video has been mad. This video is Barbie's top 17 most outrageous scandals and controversies. Barbie has been around for over 60 years, and she has been caught up in her fair share of controversies. Barbie has always been quite a controversial figure anyway, so I've compiled a list of what I think are the most shocking scandals. Please don't forget to let me know in the comments your thoughts and feelings on these scandals. And I just want to reiterate one more time that some of these are quite grown up, quite mature scandals, so if you are younger you might not want to watch this video. But anyway, let's get into Barbie and her wonderful world of controversies and scandals. Okay, so I thought this scandal would be a good place to start because Barbie is actually influenced and inspired by a kind of sexy, provocative, novelty doll from Germany. As you can see here, the resemblance is undeniable. Basically, the doll is called Lily. She was made in Germany. She was actually kind of like a piece of merchandise for this racy comic strip which would run in German newspapers. And the doll was made to be kind of like a novelty gift to be given to men on their stag do, or to be given out as kind of like a joke. And Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie, bought one of these dolls from Germany in the 50s and thought it would be a fun idea to make it into a children's toy. Obviously, when people found out about this, they were not happy, and the company that originally made the Lily doll actually sued Mattel for copyright infringement, and to be honest, I can see why. They literally look exactly the same, these dolls. Okay, the next scandal we're going to talk about, I've actually talked about this doll once before in my most expensive Barbies list, so definitely go and check out that video. I'll put a link somewhere. But this doll was called Tork Barbie. And there was a whole variety of different phrases that she would say, because obviously the doll would talk, and each doll had a different set of phrases. But quite a few of the dolls had a phrase that said, "Maths is tough." It doesn't send out a good message to young women and young kids in general. We want to inspire kids to do well in maths. But Barbie actually came out with a statement that said, "In hindsight, the phrase maths is tough, while correct for many students, both male and female, should not have been included. We didn't fully consider the potential negative implications of this phrase." And they actually recalled the dolls that had that phrase. Okay, another controversy, this one's really bad. In 1963, so it was a while ago, Barbie came out with a set called Babysitter Barbie, and it was just like a fashion set with loads of accessories and stuff. It came with a baby and a phone, and it also came with a diet book that was simply titled, "Don't Eat." So we can see where the problem is. Not exactly a good message to send to children. But I think with this one of the things we have to keep in mind is the fact that this was a very, very, very long time ago, and even though it is still kind of shocking, our sensibilities were very different back then. Here's another scandal which is very similar. Only a couple years later, 2 years later, in 1965, Barbie released a slumber party playset, and it had a weight loss book, and it also had a scale that was permanently set to 110 lbs, which is very, very, very much underweight for someone of Barbie's height. Barbie's meant to be 5'9", she's quite tall. But yeah, so it's considerably underweight, so not good. Again, not a great message. Barbie, what you doing? Okay, and then this I think was in the early noughties. Barbie came out with a set of dolls to advertise Oreo, and it was called Oreo Fun Barbie. Now, Oreo is actually quite a nasty racial slur, and obviously lots of people took umbrage to Oreo Barbie, Oreo Fun Barbie, saying it kind of perpetuated the racial slur. I understand where the issue is. I understand why people were upset, although to be honest, this doll is clearly advertising Oreos the cookies. Hopefully kids wouldn't think of the racial slur when they saw this doll. They would just think of the snack food. But obviously I can understand why the doll was recalled. Okay, here is another one. We have Growing Up Skipper. I also talked about this doll a little bit before in my weird doll video, so I'll put a link to that one. Basically, when you cranked her arm, she would grow taller and she would also grow breasts. I can see a lot of people being angry about this, but to be honest, I don't think that like growing breasts should be something to hide or be ashamed of, and I think it's quite a nice way to start a conversation about it if there's a doll that does it. But I do understand the issues people would have had with this doll. And funnily enough, Barbie actually did this again with the Mycene line many years later. They made Mycene dolls that would also grow taller and grow breasts. So yeah, they did it twice. Okay, here's another doll. I also spoke about this one in my weird doll lines. This was more about the mechanism of the doll when I spoke in that video. Basically, Barbie brought out a line called Happy Families, and they made a Midge doll. Midge in this doll line is pregnant, and then you can take the baby out of her stomach. That's the bit I find a bit weird. But yeah, lots of parents got very up in arms saying that it was encouraging underage pregnancy. Again, you know, women do get pregnant, you know, and I do think it's probably quite a nice conversation starter. Kids might have mothers who are pregnant and they're gonna have like a little baby sister or a little baby brother, and it's a nice kind of toy to have, you know, because it looks like mummy who's pregnant. It's nice. I think it's quite a nice idea. I can understand why people might be annoyed, especially since Barbie and her friends were originally meant to be like 16, although I think throughout the years Barbie's age has kind of been a bit ambiguous. But yeah, I don't really see much of a problem with this doll. Okay, in 2010, Barbie, as part of their I Can Be line, brought out a computer engineer Barbie. Fun idea, but there was also a book that came out to like coincide with the doll called Barbie, I Can Be a Computer Engineer. And unfortunately, Barbie is like designing her own video game, but the actual coding, the actual hard part of designing the video game, she gets men to do for her. And there's even a line where she says, I'm only creating the design ideas, Barbie says, laughing. I'll need Steven and Brian's help to turn it into a real game. Later on, Barbie meets up with the boys and explains that she crashed Skipper's computer. Steven takes over and helps Barbie. So, not great that the actual hard part of computer engineering she had to outsource to a couple of boys. Not a great message, so I can understand why people were annoyed about this. But yeah, overall, I think Barbie being a computer engineer is a fun idea. Okay, this is another one that's kind of like not that big of a deal, to be honest. Barbie came out with a doll called Video Girl Barbie, and she actually had a video camera in her like where her necklace would be, and you could record 30 minutes of film on the Barbie, and you can upload it to a computer, which is quite fun. And basically the FBI sent out a memo to all the people in the FBI explaining what this doll was and giving them a warning, just telling them not to overlook the doll when looking for evidence in cases of child inappropriate content. That makes sense. I don't want to get demonetized. And when parents found out about this memo, they freaked out, but luckily there were actually no recorded cases of any illegal use of the doll. So it was just a memo to kind of give FBI members their heads up. It was never actually an issue, so that's good. Okay, this is Share a Smile Becky. What a cheesy name. But anyway, yeah, she's in a wheelchair, which I think is a great idea. Unfortunately, the wheelchair was never able to fit through the door of the dream house, and that's where the controversy arose. And still to this day, Becky, even the modern dream houses that they make, Becky still can't fit through the door apparently. So that's not good. And I can't imagine all the dream houses are very wheelchair accessible. I mean, I know quite a few of them don't even have stairs. They just have slides and stuff, which may not be great for Becky. Okay, I actually remember this one happening vaguely. I remember seeing it on the news. But Barbie came out with this doll where she's looking after her dog Tana, and basically Tana would eat these like little pellets and then he'd poo them out. And you would think the controversy would come from the idea that he kind of like eats his own poo. I mean, that's what it looks like, because the pellets that he eats and the poo look the same. But actually, there was a choking hazard with the toy, and it wasn't even the pellets. I thought it was going to be the pellets. It's not the pellets. At the end of her pooper scoop, there's a little magnet, and the magnet would easily become loose, and that was a choking hazard. So there you go. So the doll was actually recalled because of the choking hazard magnet situation. So yeah, but kind of a weird doll anyway. The pooping dog thing is kind of weird, but yeah. Okay, lots of parents were up in arms when Barbie came out with Totally Styling Tattoos Barbie. She came with non-permanent tattoos, and kids love non-permanent tattoos, but parents thought that it encouraged kids to get real tattoos, and also some of the tattoos they they thought could be put in like unsavory places on the doll, like above her behind, if that makes sense. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me demonetized, but yeah, there's a picture here so you can see. Okay, another controversial doll, Mexican Barbie. Basically, people thought this doll was like really stereotypical, so they ended up changing her, putting her in a mariachi outfit. Still quite stereotypical, if you ask me. I think one of the things people found most stereotypical about this doll was that she had a chihuahua. Yeah, I can understand. All the dolls of the world are a little bit stereotypical though. Another big Barbie controversy was when she was on the cover of the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated. People said it was like unnecessarily sexualizing Barbie. Yeah, I understand. It's not the best marketing move. I don't know why they did this. But to be fair, I can't imagine that many kids seeing this. And Barbie has been going on for so long that adults are aware of her existence. You know, she's kind of like a cultural icon at this point. But, you know, it is still questionable, definitely. Okay, so this is Girl Scout Barbie. And people just basically said this was like a tie-in they did with the Girl Scouts of America. And people just said it was kind of like a sexualized version of a Girl Scout. And they didn't think that Barbie was a good enough role model to really be part of the Girl Scout brand. Okay, and here is the last one. This is my last controversy. I thought this one was really bad, and this one's normally left out of other lists, but basically Jack Ryan, one of the people who helped design Barbie, and he left Mattel on rather bad terms, let's say. Basically, after designing Barbie, he kind of went off the rails a little bit, always had big gatherings with loads of attractive women at his house, and eventually, because his morals and ethics weren't really lining up with the Mattel and the Barbie brand, not really a good person to have associated with the Barbie brand. I understand why this was such an issue for them at the time. But yeah, luckily it's all over now. Okay, so those were my 17 Barbie controversies and scandals. Please let me know in the comments what you think of these. Which one did you think was the worst? Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to check me out on Instagram. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!